Hello. Well, suddenly the sun disappeared. Anyways, hi guys. I woke up feeling a little bit sick today, and I've been nonstop thinking about this thing that I don't remember who sent it to me. I think it was like my mom, my dad. I think it was my mom. It was this dude, this man that said that whenever you're sick, like whenever you're not sick, you have a million problems. You think of a million problems, a million things you need to resolve, a million issues. And then the moment you get sick, there's only just one problem, and it's that you're sick and that your body needs to recover. And that ends up making you realize that everything that matters at the end of the day is your body and how you treat it and your health and taking care of yourself. And that's made me think of like, honestly, if we just do the best that we can every day, life will just happen for us. You know? Like, if you do the best that you can in every sense of the way, and it doesn't mean like being perfect in everything, it just means like if you every day you wake up and you give your all to yourself and to what you want to do and to your work and your friends, life will just pass through you and for you. And you won't have to worry that it won't, because you're giving your best. And I also was reading The Artist Way. I'm in week 6 currently. If you've been here since I started this channel, I feel like you know that I've mentioned that I've been doing that book, and it has completely changed my life. And the book the other night that I was reading said something that blew me away because I've been feeling it so much recently. And basically it said, if you take care of God's business, He'll take care of yours. And with that, it basically means that if you focus on following your calling, on what feels right to you, and what you need to do for the world, in what you have to offer, in your purpose, and whatever, that the universe or life or God or whoever you believe in will make sure you're okay in the rest, in the other areas. The only thing they ask of you, or the world asks of you, is that you give your best in what you're basically made for, you know? And the rest will follow. And that has made me kind of start not spiraling, but thinking a lot about like the successful people or successful artists in the world. And what are their beliefs? What have they been doing to get there? And we usually never like see or appreciate someone's work or art unless they're successful. Like if they don't have a million listeners or like a million followers or big sold out things or no like a million buyers or like everyone tabloids are talking about you, whatever, that there's no success. But that's not true. Recently I met this friend that this now friend, and he's an artist that lives off completely of his music and the work he makes. And for some reason I always like thought like if you're not famous or you're not big, that you're not successful, like you're not a successful artist. Like somehow in my mind, being a creative or living off your art meant or like was completely tied to fame and acknowledgments. And that is not true. And like, I've been wanting to get myself out of that mentality because sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm already too late to like be successful with my art, because I'm already too late for people to get to know me. And like, the moment they get to know my art, I'm just gonna be so ugly and old that no one's gonna ever like want. It's like, what am I talking about? Like, that's not art or living off your art. There's literally like fame. And fame is a really bad lover. It's what I love that Rosalia, her song La Fama, Rosalia talks about fame being a really bad lover and how she comes in and then she can leave whenever, without like ever telling you she's gonna leave. And that you should never marry her. You should just like sleep with her one night. So it's basically saying that fame, you should never put her in a pedestal. You should never make fame your ultimate goal. Fame should be like a thing that you see every once in a while, and then you focus on the rest, not fame being an end goal. But again, now that we live in a world where everything's like trends and going viral, and like feels like fame is like a big part of everything now, or at least what feels like fame. Fame is like having so many eyes on you. And then why do we crave so many eyes on us? I think it's ultimately like a sign of insecurity and validation. Because when I was growing up, all I like always needed from other people was validation. I didn't know why, and I didn't even realize I was doing that. And then it grew to like an insecurity of, if I don't have any validation, immediately that tells me that I suck. And it wasn't until later that I realized, like, no, that's not how it is. Like, that's not where my own worth and validation come from. It comes from within, from understanding who am I, what I'm good at, what I'm not as good at, what I'm meant to be doing. And I feel like if I'm just doing this for the fame, I'm selling myself out. That I'm looking for a superficial, like immediate reassurance or immediate gratification that does not actually feed and nurture my soul. It would just be a band-aid and some makeup even on my soul. I just got onigiri from my local market, and it was really good. Sorry, I really wanted to take a bite. It looks so good. It's looking right at me. My reusable water bottle. Oh, and I also got an immunity shot. I don't even know if this works. The other time I was like feeling a little bit of like a cold happening, I had one of these and I had a whole like electrolyte drink. Cured me in like 2 days. So I don't know if it's placebo or something, but like this worked. I got two. I'm just gonna drink this tomorrow. I love ginger, so like I could drink this like right now, but I should save it for tomorrow. Yeah. But yeah, this made me think and ask myself, like, what are my goals and my priorities for my work? But I did realize that my work relies a lot in how other people feel. Because ultimately what I want to do is, not only create for myself. Because, like an artist creates for themselves, but they also create knowing that other people will see it and they will inspire other people in some sort, or like inspire a feeling or a thought in some other people. And I feel like my work, I still don't know exactly what it will become. I'm just doing what feels right. And for now, it's this. But I just know that I'm doing this because I want to reach a lot of people. And my goal is to heal. And I don't know how I will do that. But I have a feeling that I'm meant to be doing this. And I don't know if my videos help at all. I see some comments and it makes me feel like I do. And nothing feeds and nurtures my soul more than that. But ultimately, I realized that all I wanted to do for other people is help them heal and help them find themselves and push themselves and to live life again, to live in the present, to experience what it is to be alive. Because life is not about what's wrong and what's right and politics and drama and whatever. Like, it's part of life, but it shouldn't be the ultimate like motor for life, you know? I was talking to a friend about politics, and it made me question a lot of about what are we even all fighting for? We're fighting for people like, oh, I'm more conservative, or I'm more liberal, whatever. And it's like, okay, but at the end of the day, in grand scheme of things, like, are you just gonna live your whole life fighting to prove that this is the right way of basically putting order to civilization, like keeping an order? If your whole goal in life is just to prove how to keep an order and to keep a orderly society moving, if that's your how you want to live your life, then perfect, be a politician. But if you're not, like, why are we all so stuck in politics now? Is it just because media is feeding us this narrative that we all have to be like activists, and that if we're not activists, we're not worthy of anything? I'm tired of that. I am not an activist. Like, I am not someone who's like, I'm not a news outlet. I'm not a newspaper. I'm not well educated in that world to be putting out information regarding that. And I feel like people confuse having a platform with being not worthy, but being responsible to share educated information. Because I don't feel like, if I'm not someone who studied politics or like I don't know, international affairs, I don't feel like I am um what's the word, it's not worthy, but you know what I mean. I don't feel like I am not responsible either. It's a marriage between both of them. There's a word for it. Qualified. I don't feel like I'm qualified to be putting all that on my platform, especially if I have a big like following. I don't, but I feel like everyone is entitled to sharing whatever they want in their platforms, knowing their type of audience that they have and what they believe in. But today everything has turned into like, if you don't post about this, you're a bad person, or you don't belong here, or you don't. It's like, why? When did we become so attached to what a public figure says about something? Why can't anyone like form their opinions for themselves without needing their like favorite public persona having to reassure that they should believe in that, or like spread the, like, there's some people that don't even care about some situations in the world. They don't even donate, they don't even do the work of like helping out for the cause, and they just hate comment on like public personas that they're not sharing what they believe in, and it's all because of a trend. Now like being an activist is a trend. Isn't that scary? It's like, can't, when did we all lose our opinions and personal stance and personal beliefs? When did everything become having to check off something for the eyes of the public? I don't know how I got here, but it's just like, it's something that's been really frustrating because I post a video on my TikTok, which now I deleted because that app is just full of people like that are just looking for, oh, like, you need to do this and you need to talk about this and you need to be political, and like, not everything has to be about politics or that all the time. Like, some people get really like drained from that. Like, they take up so much energy, and like, for example, I can't be looking at the news all the time because it makes me lose like hope and life and energy, and like, I wish I could do more than what I've been doing and what I can do, and nothing that I'm doing will change the fact that this is all happening. And then it just makes me question and like ask myself, like, why am I even doing all this? Like, what's the purpose if everyone's dying? Like, it just, it takes a lot of life from me. And it's not that I'm being an ignorant, because I'm trying to keep myself aware. But I try to push myself to keep going in my own path, because I have my own relationship with God, and God knows why I was put into this world and what my role is, and I need, my journey and my responsibility is to figure that out. And if that means that I should be an activist and share this news and like help make people aware and to make people help the cause, then that's my calling, that's what I will do. But then if my calling and my purpose is to create a business that will solve a lot of issues for a lot of people, then that's my calling. Then if my calling is like create art that will heal people from within that feel misunderstood, and through my art they feel understood and I inspire them to live their life, that's what I will do. And that's what I feel like I'm meant to do. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I just know that I need to keep adding to that, and watering that seed every day. And if I keep my head in my other pots, I will never grow that pot to become a full tree. You know what I mean? And it's not that I don't water those other pots, I do. But the one that I'm focusing on every day to grow is this one. Well, my calling, my journey, my purpose. And I don't know, I just like, okay, I was gonna say, I posted a video on TikTok, and again, I deleted it. And I was dancing to this song by Karol G. She just released an album. Beautiful album, amazing album. It was like filled with culture from Latin America, and she was exploring all regions and all genres and of all times from Latin America. And it was so nostalgic, so well done, so fun. And I was dancing to it. And then this comment is like, fuck Karol G and fuck um like this, whatever. She does not speak about the situation in the United States right now and all the Latinos and what's happening. And I'm like, when did a video of me just like dancing and talking about how I'm eating arepas became political? And I'm like, because he was claiming that Karol G is cultural, is appropriating culture and not talking. I'm like, how can you appropriate a culture that's yours? I don't understand. Like, if you're Latina, why are you saying that she's appropriating a culture if she's Latina? I don't get. I'm like, people are just throwing out terms that they don't even know what they actually mean and the gravity of the terms. People are so uneducated, but they believe that they are educated because they see it in social media. Social media does not educate you. It can definitely teach you things, but it does not educate you. It'll take a lot of time for you to be educated from social media. Because there's so many biases and so many like misinformation that you can be educated, but you are the one who decides if you're educated or not. This doesn't make sense. Like, go to school, study the subject, and speak upon it if you're actually well versed in it. Don't be throwing away don't be throwing out misinformation and big terms that you don't actually even know what they are. Just like repeating what other people have been saying, and it just made me so frustrated. Not because he was like claiming that she was appropriating culture and then making my post political, but it made me just frustrated at the fact that people are just, this is who we are right now. We're all just blindly following something that give us purpose because no one has an identity anymore. Literally no one or like, when I mean no one, I mean the majority, when I'm talking about this, I'm just generalizing, but what I mean is the majority. I'm not saying every case, there's always exceptions to everything. That's why there's debates. There's always an exception for everything, always. But no one sits down and like talks to themselves and asks themselves what they actually believe in, what they actually want to fight for. They just want to see who the person that they admire, what they're saying and what the rest are saying, and then from there they're like, okay, I need to be doing this, or I need to be thinking that, or I need to be, and that will make me a good person, and that will make me part of a community, and that will give me purpose in this world, and that will give me a space in this world, because if I'm doing this that everyone else is doing, I'm part of something. And if I'm part of something, I have a purpose and I mean something. That's not purpose. You're being a sheep. You're part of a herd. I don't know that. How do you say it? School of sheep? School of sheep? That's not a school of fish. Whatever. Like a herd. You're just part of it. You're just in the bandwagon. And bandwagon, the new term for that is trend. And I'm not pointing fingers here. And if you feel bothered by what I'm saying, it's probably because it applies to you. And if you're gonna fight against me, choose wisely if you're gonna open your mouth or not. Because again, when you open your mouth, you are unveiling your personal journey upon the eyes of everyone else. We're seeing right through you when you say like, you don't know. Again, when you point, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. We're all seeing you literally being naked in front of everyone, trying to scream, and everyone's just looking right through you. Because again, everything's a projection of yourself. Because again, when I get angry and I get frustrated about people getting political in my comments or saying something negative in my comments, it's not because I genuinely am like, ugh. It's because I'm insecure. It's a projection of myself. So I'm insecure of not receiving that validation. So therefore, when I get a negative comment, I'm like, I suck. They're right. Like, I suck. And I mean, and immediately I will give them the benefit. And it's like, why? It's ultimately a projection of my journey, of my insecurity. So imagine someone says something negative about me in a comment and I start commenting back like angrily and like fighting against them. First of all, I'm reacting. I'm letting them actually get to my emotions and hurt me, which gives them the power over me. Second of all, I'm reacting in a really childish way by like engaging and also being angry and being like, and explosive. That immediately lets people know that I'm not emotionally mature enough to ignore and choose silence over reaction. Because silence, there's no bigger power move than silence. Because imagine, see it as like a kid and a dad and like a parent dynamic. If a kid is screaming and crying and a parent starts screaming and crying too, you're like, oh my God, that parent doesn't know how to handle a kid. Like, they don't know what to do. They're not equipped, excuse me, to be a parent. But no, of course, in the majority of the cases, what do parents do? Sit calm, and they basically like light the fire off, which is let the kid cry, but also calm them down by them being calm. And that's what we need to do because that shows the power dynamic. The parent controls the kid. The parent knows more than the kid, you know? So basically, you do that through your day-to-day interactions. If someone says something and I react in a negative way or more like an emotional way, immediately I'm giving them power. But if someone says something and I'm like, yeah, okay, and I let them hear themselves, who holds the dynamic there? You know what I mean? So that's something I've been working on, like trying to understand that not everyone is going to like me and I'm not going to receive validation from everyone. And that's a hard pill to swallow for me because I grew up being the eldest child, the perfect kid that had to be an example and always receiving validation and needing it. And then transferring to this field of work, there's a lot of validation that comes with it and critique and things that I need for, to create. And it's like a really hard like balance I need to find between receiving feedback and then needing the validation. So I'm in that journey right now of discovering how to balance that and how to not let negative comments or comments that I don't necessarily want to hear or want to be involved in affect me. So with all of this being said, I just realized that life should be more about your journey with yourself and with your creator, whatever you believe in, and your purpose and finding that purpose. And I feel like the only way to find your purpose is by sitting down with yourself and figuring out what you like and what moves you and what you're meant to do and what nourishes your soul and what you actually want to be doing in this world. And not letting other people choose that for you. And when I mean that, I don't mean like parents telling you to study this or study that. I mean like people imposing opinions over you because they're like guilt tripping you to feel like that you're a bad person if you have your own opinions. Because not everyone is thinking about the same things that you are. Not everyone believes in the same things as you are. Not because they're bad people, but because their lives have been different and they've seen different things that have formed different opinions. And then we see people fighting against their own nature because they feel like guilty because they do feel some certain type of way because they were raised like that, or they've experienced something firsthand that has made them seem something that the rest thinks is good in a bad way. Like, there's many, many, many reasons why someone might not agree with you, and we never know. And I think it's selfish to impose your own opinions into someone else without even understanding what they're going through. It's like imposing everyone onto the same beliefs is not how you make a good in this world. The way you make good in this world is by inspiring good, by acting in a certain way that inspires others to act like you, not screaming and implying and imposing people like, do this, do this, do this, you need to be doing this, you're a bad person if you do. No one literally thrives in punishment. No one. Everyone thrives in nurture. So if you don't nurture other people or nurture yourselves, you're not going to thrive. People need identities. I mean, your whole life is like you in the lookout for your identity, for yourself, to know what you're meant for, what you like, what you don't like. And if we just decide to box ourselves into what other people tell us that is our identity, because this is what good people are, we're never going to find ourselves. We're going to go against that. And again, if they break the phones tomorrow, who are you without it? Nothing. How will you know what opinions you have if they break your phone and you don't have your favorite influencer to tell you what to believe in? Nothing. Like, sit down with yourself and figure out what you want to believe in, what you actually believe in, what you fight for, what you actually want to fight for, what you actually want to add to this world, what you're meant to do in this world. Not what other people tell you is right or wrong. Because again, everyone has grown up in a different scenario, seeing different things. Like, now everyone having a platform or like access to a platform has made us think that everyone is right. Because before, the people who stand on podiums, the people who gave those speeches earned the platform. Now you can have it by like spending a few dollars and getting a phone. Anyone can have it. Anyone. For example, like in the animal kingdom, let's say in Lion King, like Simba and Mufasa, like they were the lions because they earned their position because they're like the top of the food chain. So whatever, they're like the king of the jungle, whatever. So he gets the podium, which is the top of that mountain. The whole animal kingdom listens to what he says and like everyone follows. But then now, it's not lions at the top of the mountains. It's fucking Timon and Pumba dressed up as lions, speaking to this big ass amount of animals, being like, huh? I mean, if they're up there, it means that they're right. Yeah, let's believe what Timon and Pumba, the lions, are saying. Like, bro, not everyone deserves a platform, but everyone can have a platform. So it's super critical to understand who you're following, who you're listening to, and what they're actually feeding you. So it's really important to form your own opinions and then find people that you agree with that have those similar opinions that you can talk to. Because if we just follow trends and the bandwagon, we're gonna just end up everyone being a copy and paste of everyone else. But it's all superficial because it's impossible that everyone thinks the same. It's impossible that everyone feels the same. That's why there's like sides to everything. There's spectrums to everything. No one is the same. Nothing is like a switch on or off switch. And I will always encourage people. I will never judge anyone for whatever they believe in. It's like, okay, you believe in that? Okay, you believe in that. And we don't agree in that. And if we don't agree and we can't live peacefully with that, then we shouldn't live close together. We shouldn't be close to each other, whatever. But if you do believe in this and I do believe in that and we agree in this and we can live close together with this, then let's do it. And it's about finding your people truly, because you know what you believe in and you find people that believe in that too wholeheartedly. That's why sometimes it's really hard to make friends when you feel like you're being a good person because you're doing what everyone says is good. And then you realize that you don't have any real friends, or they're all superficial, and it's because you're not being yourself. And when they tell you to be yourself, they don't mean like be silly, be quirky. No, it's like find and figure out who you are, your identity. Ask yourself what you feel is right, what you feel is wrong, not what others say. Like if you can lock yourself without a phone for fucking like a week and talk to yourself in that week and actually not feed your brain with whatever that phone is feeding you, do that and figure out who the fuck are you. What the fuck do you believe in? What do you actually care about? What do you actually want to fight for? What do you actually want to do for others? Actually educate yourself. Research, read books, read history, read about certain types of people. Look for niche topics that interest you, that spark interest in your mind. Don't just follow and study in the surface level what everyone is giving you online. Because you will just know a little bit of everything and you will know nothing in depth, which won't get you anywhere. And I found myself falling back into the trends and to not knowing what I believed in, and that if I was being like a good or bad person depending on what I agree with in people. And then I was like, bro, what do I want? I just form an opinion for myself and live through that. And then naturally the people that also know themselves and are sure about themselves and understand these things will find me. And eventually that has happened. But before, I had so many just like superficial relationships because I was not being myself. I was trying to be a pleaser. I was trying to be like a railroad and a connecting flights airport rather than like a destination or a hotspot of other things. You know what I mean? Like I was letting people just run through me, being like, "Yep, cool, 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 yeah, 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 yeah." And I was not letting anyone like actually stay because it was like a worthy place of staying. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to pass through and say bye, but not enough happening for me to stay, sort of thing. Like I feel like I could offer a lot, and I used to offer. Why am I? Like I used to like be really really nice. I agree with everyone. Like try to find peace with everyone, and in the midst of doing that, I molded myself into whoever got close to me wanted me to be. And I was never like fully myself. I was just being whatever they wanted me to be. And that's not living. That's not being yourself. Being yourself is not being nice and silly. Being yourself is letting yourself be good and being bad sometimes in the eyes of others. Because bad and good is also really subjective in the eyes of anyone. So at the end of the day, I just really, and all I want is to invite people to seek life for themselves, seek knowledge for themselves, create and form opinions for themselves, not just what the internet is feeding you. Because again, you can be listening to a Timon and Pumba and think that they're Mufasa when they're not. It's really dangerous. And we need to be aware and careful with who we're listening to. And I feel like the only Mufasa you can listen to is within you. The only Mufasa you can follow is right here. Not on your phone. Here. Yeah, I didn't even know I was gonna talk today. That's crazy. Anyways, thank you for being here. Live and let live, and be kind. And I appreciate you so much for being here and for listening. I usually don't know if people actually listen to the whole thing till the end. But if you do, know that I really, really, really appreciate you for doing that and for making me feel like my voice is worth listening to. So thank you. And I appreciate you really, 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 really much. Really much. Anyways. Hopefully I feel better and I have more energy. But I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna eat my onigiri, take my ginger shots, and probably watch a movie. Anyways, ciao.